I'm Kate Perkins, staff writer for the Lake Country Echo and Pine River Journal, here with Darrell Schneider, the mayor of Crosslake. And we're going to get a little update on the fireworks, summer activities, and what's going on at the community center this summer. So, Darrell, let's start with the fireworks. Can you give us an update on that?
Well, fireworks are quite a tradition in Crosslake. We started with the city putting up fireworks with the fire department actually about 43 or 44 years ago. And it's kind of evolved where it's getting to be a more had to be a more professional presentation as there are new laws,
stricter laws and regulations,
and more care needed. So at one point the city was paying for the whole fireworks event. At one time the businesses were paying for the entire event. So now we're getting to the point where it's actually sort of a team effort. The city council's been budgeting $5,000 a year that's available for the fireworks. And then we've had the PAL Foundation and the businesses in the community. PAL is Parks and Library Foundation that they've been raising the money to pay the other $5,000 because they've been costing $5,000. But this year we had an offer, and we'll be considering the council accepting a donation of another $5,000 at the Monday meeting for expanding the fireworks. And with all the basic costs covered already, we probably should be getting can almost double the amount of fireworks that are put in the air and are visible. So it's going to be kind of a fun program, just even figuring out what to do with the extra funds, because we've had a very nice fireworks event. And the special thing about the Crosslake fireworks is that probably there's several hundred people that watch the fireworks on the lake.
Wow.
Within a matter of probably, less 500 feet, 500 to 600 feet from where the fireworks are being set off. So it's really quite an event. The lake is full of boats and everybody's having a good time.
I'm sure that if the council accepts that donation, everybody in the city is going to benefit from that and be really thankful for that, because that's possibly the most funding they've ever had for fireworks, don't you think?
Oh, it should be, and it's very special. It's a real tradition in the city.
Yeah, what'd you say, 43, 44 years?
Yes, I think it's the 44th year.
Wow, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, let's talk about some community center activities. I know that the new tennis courts are on the way. Do you know the status of that?
Yeah, they've been, the basic work has started on them last fall.
That's right.
So there is a foundation for the last layers of that before the concrete is poured for themselves. But they won't be open first thing in the year. Probably by 4th of July they should be completed and put together. We're really looking forward to that. So are the tennis players, because what the significance of this is it's not only that they're new tennis courts, but there's 4 of them rather than 3.
Oh, wow.
Because when you look at any of those scheduling things, you work a tournament a lot better with an even number of tennis courts. So they'll be able to play down and have a very nice, very orderly and much more efficient competition than they've been able to have in the past.
That'll be great. And speaking of tennis-like activities, we're also going to have pickleball this summer. Is that right?
Right. And pickleball is sort of a miniature tennis. It's played on a badminton court. The net is lowered to 34 inches. It's played with a wiffle ball, and a wiffle ball like baseball size thing. And they have paddles, kind of like racquetball paddles.
Okay.
And so people of all ages and skills can play and have a really good time doing it, because you don't have to hit the ball a mile, you don't have to run as far, but yet people that are good at it can really get a very spirited competition going.
Okay. And you said you've played that before, and it sounds like you enjoyed it?
Yeah, we played it 20 years ago out in California, and it was a very popular thing in apartment complexes because it doesn't take up so much room. Like tennis courts really take a lot of room, and you have to have high fences around so the ball doesn't go all over the world after it leaves the court. But these wiffle balls don't travel very far, especially after if they get to the edges of the court. So it's a lot more orderly game, and people really have a lot of fun with it.
That sounds great. That'll be a lot of fun. And in other news at the community center, the Kichigami Regional Library System recently funded the library with $5,000 to both the Pequot and Crosslake libraries. They had cut $10,000 to each. And I know that John Hinkey, the director of Parks, Library, and Recreation, worked really hard to get that done. Have you heard from him recently?
Yes, I talked with John. I accompanied him when we went to the Crow Wing County board to ask for their support in what we were doing, because they were the source of the original funds. Mm-hmm. But when the library board has actually made the decision to adjust the payments the way they did.
Where to cut, yeah.
Where to cut. And John really did a good job with the library, with the Crow Wing County
So if anyone has any questions at all,
I wasn't able to go with him to the library board, but I did talk to him about it, and he was very happy with the support. And it wasn't just a matter of his presentation was important, but his leadership in leading our surrounding communities. More than 13 cities and townships supported the effort with council resolutions and indications of support to support both our library and the Pequot Lakes Library. So we worked together. It was a great thing for the communities to be able to do that. That experience is probably of more value to this area than even the dollars that were involved. We're more sure that we'll be getting a fair contribution in future years after the effort and teamwork that people are able to show in this particular program.
One library board member said at that meeting how she had almost never seen such an outpouring of support for libraries. They had to move their meeting to the Pine River City Hall in order to accommodate how many people showed up. So there was a fairly large crowd and pretty strong support. And I know John got several resolutions of support from area cities, and it's a good solution. It's going to be good for the libraries.
Well, it should be good for libraries in general, as you're mentioning too. I mean, it really is support, because libraries some people think libraries are really fading in public interest. They may be, but not in our area. We're finding we had almost 2,000 visitors to our library last month. That's
a lot. That's a huge number, because Cross Lake's population is only about 2,000 people. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Well, let's talk about one more event at the Cross Lake Community Center. Let's talk about Silver Sneakers. They've recently gone to 5 days a week with their classes.
Well, that's quite a program, and it's put on by Donna Kiefer, who's done an awful lot of these programs of this type. And I actually attended the first Silver Sneakers events, and I work out. But that really is a good workout. It's not, you think, well, maybe it's just for old people, but it really is a good workout for anyone. It concentrates on building strength and agility with people, and steadiness and balance and all that sort of thing. And Donna Kiefer really does a good job. She's doing it now 4 days a week. There's more people. We've been at the limits several times. We can do probably 30 people a day.
Wow. And
we're probably very close to the limit that can even be managed without somehow expanding the program. Both John Hankey, who we already talked about, who is the director of the community center, and his assistant Jane are also trained, so they can back up Donna Kiefer, but she does a really good job. I know the first days were a little more testing because we didn't have all the equipment there or anything at that time, but she made it fun. She just makes it fun whatever is happening. And it's not just a matter of the exercise, but the people, because of the nature of the whole thing, people become friends, and it's a very social event. So people are having a good time socially, in addition to getting some very beneficial physical exercise.
That's great. That sounds like a great program. Well, thank you so much for coming down to Brainerd. Thanks for making the drive and meeting with us and giving us an update on all the community center and summer activities.
Well, thanks for the invitation. And I know we see you at almost every council meeting, and you really turn out some very good coverage on our
Thank you.
meetings. Very, very fair and accurate. So,
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks again.
thank you.
And see you guys later.